Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, it's technical difficulties. It's running late. I'm running a bit late for today's masterclass. Somehow my computer was frozen and refuse to restart. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, let me start sharing the screen. Hope you're doing well, and hi, Facebook fans. I'm glad that you guys got a chance to watch it live as well too. Okay, so the August we have the Masterclass series. It's going to be 4 modules. Each week we're going to have to do a different module, and I figured first and foremost is what having people's mind is finance, right? So I will start with that. Okay, let me start the Okay, my name is Victoria Bracha. I'm a business advisor and financial strategist with Victory Finance, Inc. We are working with the small business development centers and offer free support to local businesses in our area. And for the August, we have 4 module master classes. And today, of course, at the beginning of each masterclass, I will spend about 15 minutes total, so about 10 minutes or so, with the weekly SBA loan updates and CARES Act or whatever the new information comes in play for the past week. And I'm going to let you guys know. And also, if I hear a lot of questions and, uncertain something that's confusing, then I can clarify as well too, as I'm talking to many business owners. And module 1 is how to get your business financing order so you can stay in business. And then August 11th is going to be module 2, and that's going to be how to set up your business operation correctly so you can swiftly adjust the different stages of business reopening. As we know that many business now, open had to shut down, with the counties to be in compliance with counties' new policies. And so the module 3 is going to how to develop a system checklist for running your business so you can reduce your stress and working more on your business instead of in your business. And the module 4 is going to be on August 25th, and it's going to be how to effectively create an online presence for your business by crafting your business brand marketing strategy so you can get more customers regardless of your current economic situations. Okay, so hope you guys can join me for the 4 modules masterclass, and it's going to be August Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So first of all, I want to thank you for attending my webinar masterclass, right? And I know that there are a lot of information out there, a lot of webinars out there. So why listening to me? I will briefly introduce myself. I'm a certified business advisor for small business development centers, and there are about over 1,000 centers throughout the United States, and I currently work with a couple of centers, and they are a nonprofit organization and funded partly by SBA and partly by the local government. Because of that, we can offer free assistance to help local small business owners, not only to navigating through the loan process, application process, but also to help your business in general to succeed and survive in that sense. Right now, it's more about survival, right? To help you with that. And whatever some support you need, whether it's more funding related or it's more business operational or more marketing. So it's pretty broad support okay, for the business. And I also get updated almost on a daily basis with SBA and SBDC. And my personal business experience is I have owned and managed a women's clothing boutique for over 15 years. I did not only design retail, but also I did a factory manufacturing and also wholesale over 100 stores throughout the United States. Combined with my degree in finance, I really have a very good understanding, experience, expertise, and also knowledge in terms of how to run a small business successfully. I have been basically currently, that's basically I closed the business, decide to, move on to as a business advisor and financial strategist since 2016. Now, currently, I have been on an advisory board for Industry Council for Small Business Development, ambassador for Silicon Valley Central Chamber of Commerce, and also sits on Asian Affairs Business Committee with Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. Now, before I start the updates, I want to have the disclaimer. And as we know, that's why a lot of confusion lays is the details and guidelines regarding the CARE Acts are changing all the time. That's why I'm doing a weekly briefing, so to keep you guys up to date as well too. And this information is up to date as of August 3rd, 2020. So that's as of yesterday. And I don't know, maybe there's something come up this morning, really big this morning, but I may have missed it, even though I did check a few hours ago to make sure. So, okay, and here is our weekly 15 minutes briefing. Okay. Okay, overall, there was not a great fundamental, updates regarding the PPP, the CARE Acts and everything. They are in talk. So for this 15 minutes, I just want to emphasize a few of the key points for people who haven't heard about it, right? And there are people probably already heard about it. So one important thing is the 8 weeks versus 24 weeks. It's retroactive that now that if you got the PPP, you haven't used it up, the money now you can spend the money for 24 weeks rather than just 8 weeks after you receive the fund. Okay, and it doesn't matter if your business is open or not, you still can use the money. And there is a thing about safe harbor that gives you the exemption because in order for the PPP to be 100% forgiven, you have to maintain the same amount of payroll and payrolls, the average payroll, and also same number of the employees at the February 15, 2020 level. Now, it's also extended to December 31st. But on the other hand, if you need to apply for the forgiveness, you need to satisfy that. The safe harbor basically says that if the employee can't come to work, on their own court, you did offer that, and you can be exempt for the, they call the FET, full-time employment, the head counts. Okay, so that's one thing. And also the 60% rather than 70% minimum needs to be spent on payroll. The rest of the 40% instead of 25% can be used for rent and utility. And please be aware that payroll usually means W-2 earners. Okay, but if you're self-employed, and then you can just pay yourself. Otherwise, for that 60% for the, but you cannot pay the independent contractor for part of the PPP loan. And one thing I get asked a lot about this EDD thing, right? A lot of employees don't want to come back. to work, what I can do, right? So the EDD, all you need to do is to make sure to just, EDD will send you a letter. They want employee to have the update, so have that update. And also you want to make sure that you do get a written notice from your employee, say they don't want to come back, or at least, show the evidence that you emailed and send a registered letter, attempt to have them come back, right? If they don't reply you, there's not much you can do, but at least you show that you have given that effort, and then the safe harbor will apply, so you don't have to hire another person to replace the old ones, okay? And so that's just the update. And then one thing about the long term, right? And if you got the loan prior to June 5th, the term of loan is for 2 years. But after that, it's automatic 5 years. So, but it's not retroactive. So if you got the loan before June 5th, you do need to negotiate with your lenders and see if you can get the loan for 5 years, and also first payment the 10th month rather than the 7th month. And today is what, the 4th, so you guys really need to hurry if you do still want to apply the PPP. If you haven't applied, and last night I was helping a hairdresser to apply, because even though she works alone on her own, right, she has earnings, she still is eligible for the PPP. And so I was able to help her to apply. She's going to get quite a few $1,000 because of that, and she didn't even realize. So the deadline to apply for this PPP loan, and I think it's not going to extend it, it's going to be the August 8th. I'm talking about the first round of PPP, okay? So if you already applied, and there I have some update later on, but if you haven't applied, make sure you apply in August 8th, okay? Because it's the money that can be forgiven, and you are just, not, giving them, you're kind of throwing the money away, right? So do make the effort and do it. And if you have any question, needs assistance, and you can contact me, and I'll have the information just a few more slides, okay? To apply directly, you can just go to the, for PPP, basically it's the lenders, okay? And also another thing is EIDL, that's Economic Injury Disaster Loan. That's a loan from SBA. A lot of people, when I say EIDL, they didn't know what does EIDL means, right? Economic Injury Disaster Loan. It's basically when you say, oh, it's the SBA loan, they say, oh, yeah. They kind of understand, right? Although SBA actually has a lot of loans, right? This is the one of the disaster loan. So they are accepting new applications, and if you haven't applied, do apply. I think they did make the threshold a little bit easier for people to get approved. So definitely apply. And if you got a rejection letter, and I have helped a lot of business owners with rejection letter, so you can either call 800-659-2955, or you can email. You have to email anyway, but I would say email anyway, then call them if you need to, okay? So it's the pdcrecons@sba.gov. So email them, and then after a while, you can call them if you haven't heard from them, even just to see that they got the email and you are in the queue, and that's good, okay? So that's the reconsideration. The loan, now the EIDL, the SBA had advance money, that month's money is gone. So no more advance. And even if you say, oh, I applied early, even before, the first round, I just didn't get it. Now they basically, the money is being spent, so they no longer going to giving people the advance. But on the hand, because you may be eligible for PPP, right? So that kind of for them, they just say, okay, just get it through PPP in that sense. If you do need help and things, Facebook, it can be people from everywhere, right? If you're in the United States and you do need find the other SBDC support, it's sba.gov/local-assistance-/found, and then you just need to put your zip code and pick SBDC, and you'll find centers near you, and all the support to you will be free. So definitely it's a good resources for you. And of course, if you want to contact me, feel free to do so as well too. Now that a lot of people have finished their the PPP loan, right? And so there are two forms now as of, I think it says June 20th, but it came out a little bit later. So you have basically two forms, depending on your business. It's the SBA Easy 3508 form. It's pretty simple. For employees, self-employed, no employees, or you did not reduce your employees' pay or reduction of hours. And for most of the small businesses, you may need to deal with the form called 3508. So it's basically the same number, the SBA form, but without the easy forms. This, you will have a worksheet, and you'll have tables 1, 2, and also the head count and compensation, local tax, and also contribution. So if you have general partner, you have owners, that's something you can use that form to fill. And again, there's also the safe harbor thing, which means the FTE reduction, full-time employment reduction in the safe harbor. So there are a few scenarios there as well too, okay? So it's important to know these rules, and they haven't said that there'll be any changes, although there was talking about, very small amount of people. They're not just going to go through that, but so far we don't know, so we don't want to risk it. You still want to make sure that you do follow the rules, and that your PPP money will be 100% forgiven, okay? And I think the rule will be only be looser rather than tighter. So if you follow the rule as of now, you should be safe. If you can be forgiven as of now, as the rule, you have nothing to worry about, okay? And then the other thing, of course, it caused a lot of stress for people, is this pandemic unemployment assistance. Okay, so there are two parts, which is a little bit confusing for people. The confusing part is the PUA and PUP, actually. So in the pandemic employment assistance, so that's basically saying that, any kind of employee, because of pandemic, you can get, you can't get a job. And that basically it's from February 2nd and onward all the way to December 26th, because of COVID, you could not get a job, okay? So that also means, basically, if you are a self-employed and an independent contractor, you are not W-2, you are eligible. Before, if you are not W-2, you cannot apply for the unemployment, but now you can. And this unemployment is till December 26th, okay? So that part, so you guys understand, because if you're a small business owner, or you never had a W-2, or you're an independent contractor, you say, what's gonna happen, right? So the July 31st, the controversial part is that additional $600 actually is called pandemic employment compensation. It's the additional $600 a week benefit, right? On top of your unemployment. Okay, so that's the additional compensation program. So that's the one basically ended on July 31st. But now the Congress and the Senate is also working very hard about it. I do have a little bit of update, and I'm going to show you guys. And also, I'm going to mention a little bit more about, that they were talking about the second round of PPP, meaning that people who already got the PPP will be able to get, apply again and be eligible. So these are the two topics. I'm going to touch it briefly because it is not signing to law. So right now it's still going to be the hearsay, even though it's kind of good to kind of have a slight understanding what's going to happen, right? So this slide is from PBS NewsHour last night. So I just took a screenshot. There's a lot more, but I just took this part. One is the unemployment, the $600. So the Democrats basically say, oh, keep the same $600 to December. And the Republican basically was talking about $200 to more, or, depending on people's pay. But right now, since, they haven't reached agreement, so the Republican did agree a short time extension for now. So for you guys who is on EDD, and don't worry, because it's, this week you're still going to get this $600, and hopefully by the end of the week they will have reached some kind of agreement. For if you are a employer, right? Now you also want to keep that in mind, because I understand that does make it a little bit harder for you to get your people back. But because of the fact that if you offer them a job, they have to basically accept it or finding reasons not to, legit reason not to. And because you will let the EDD know that, you did offer that person a job, okay? So that's how it's going to work. And then of course, direct payment, that's just for the household. Seems that both parties agree that $1,200, additional $1,200 a check compensation to a family. I think it's the same rule. The, per each person, right? The taxpayer and the kids get the 500. So that's probably going to happen soon as well too. Okay. And I'm going to skip the school part, it's, we're not going to go there right now. And for PPP, as of July 31st, the funding remaining is still more than $128 billion. That's also why we talk, we hear about the second round of the PPP or third round, right? But it's just for right now, even though PPP is doing, if you applied, and I know a lot of business, they didn't do a right job, didn't use the money efficiently or effectively. There are two things. One is they didn't know the rule, so business owner, they didn't apply for themselves. So the PPP money didn't come out a lot, even though actually there are a lot more, but they just didn't know that they can include themselves. They thought it's only for their employees, not for them. And the second part is because that at the beginning there was this 8 week, so everybody rushed and spent money because they want that 8 weeks so they can get it forgiven, right? So now with the current pandemic situation, we know that a lot of business still cannot open, and the business definitely need a second round of PPP. First is to really to rectify the situation from the first time, which is not used properly. And second is to really help them have additional funding so they can keep in business. So this is being really greatly talked about. And I think after the August 8th, which the first that fundings go through, right? And even then, I think there'll still probably be about about $120 billion still left over. So that's, I can't say it's not come to the law, but there is a very highly possibility that it's going to happen also, especially given the current pandemic situation. Okay, so hang tight, small businesses. I think there will be additional relief, because I know a lot of people was asking me about, oh, is there some other government program funding can support us? You know, we're really in such a hardship, right? So that's this one. And then there's also another one is there'll be also additional grant and in Pueblo City. I just did we just, you know, I'm in the Silicon Valley area in California, right? So I know that, you know, we just helped the city of Sunnyvale did a grant, and now Cupertino, and then there was, there's also Milpitas. And I know that Los Santos, city of Los Santos has a grant, Santa Clara grant has probably finished. They did a grant as well too. So that, do check with your city and see, or your county, see if there's some kind of grant programs. Or sometimes it could just be the company, the big corporation does grant. I know like Facebook and Google did some kind of grants, but there are a lot more as well too, okay? Also, there is SBA announced a new Community Advantage Recovery Loan Program on July 22nd. So they are, you know, once it's available, still takes a little bit time to, you know, go it on the way, but at least it's to help really small business owners. And it's going to be a micro loan. It's going to be just $25,000 loan, but you know, it can be expressed, right? So you small business can get it quickly. And also, in addition, they are going to provide technical and financial assistance to these small businesses in underserved area defined by SBA. So this Community Advantage Program is more for disadvantaged and minority businesses, okay? And so that's going to be, loans can be approved through September 27th. And must be fully disbursed by October 1st. So this loan is going to be basically going to start right now, and it's going to end till September 27th. And since it's SBA loan, they might be, you know, it might be easier to get. And also there's a possibility this will be also considered as part of the SBA, the 7A and 504 loans, which they have that 6 months not paying period, and also the fee waived. So that could be a great program if you're minority business owners, and then you're also the in the underserved areas, okay? And it's for $25,000. And I know that with California, what they did was you know, each state can be different with that program, the SBA Community Advantage Program, right? So for the state of California, they actually kind of did this program through CDC, and the loan amount can be up to $250,000 rather than just $25,000. And the term of the loan can be 5 to 10 years. And if it's real estate, can be 25 years. And the rate is prime plus the 3 to 6%. It depends on the risk factors, okay? And then there's some fees, but there's a possibility fees can be waived. So it's a pretty low interest rate as well too. And as I said, that's just for the state of California. Each state would have their own SBA Community Advantage loan spin to it, so okay. And then if you're in the state of California, let me know and maybe I can help. And so just remember, if you haven't applied the EIDL, a lot of people, you know, apply to EIDL, you know, this, of course, the advance money is gone. The link is the same. I should update this slides, right? There's no the advance money, but the link is still the same to apply. And then also for PPP loan, there are only few lenders still doing the loan, the PPP loan, and then let me know if you need to find the lenders, because even though at the SBA site, there's this paycheck protection / fund and with a zip code, but a lot of lenders right now are not doing a PPP anymore. But of course, that might change, but as currently, it's not going to do it, okay? So that basically concludes the updates. And again, my name is Victoria Bracha. You can reach me, and I have a toll-free number as well too, 833-382-1118. And email me at info@victoryfinanceinc.com. You can visit my website, victoryfinanceinc.com, and book a free appointment with me. Or you can use the link calendly.com/victoryfinance/15min for a 15 minutes appointment. We can just do a phone call, then set up another appointment, follow-up appointment to help you, okay? And all these assistance, as I said, is free. And for August, the Masterclass, now we're coming to Module 1, which is how to get your business financing order so you can stay in business. And as we know that money now, the money is the number one things in everybody's mind, right? So I'm going to go through the 3-step process, and I'm going to only focus on the business finance, of course, as well. But you know, that's going to be able to apply really into your personal finance in that aspect as well. But this is more of a business focused. So are you ready? Okay, let's get your business financing order with these 3 steps. Let's simplify it so everybody will be able to, you know, be able to do it, right? Because a lot of time there's a lot of information, people get overwhelmed. They say, oh, well, what am I supposed to do? You know, it's so much. So I just go 1, 2, 3 steps, okay? So the first step, step 1, is to get your SBA disaster loans in order, right? And if you have applied EIDL, your PPP, the micro loans, you know, the bridge loans 504 and 7A, you know, some of the loan may not be applicable for you, right? But there are just a lot of options out there, right? And you want to look into those ones are definitely a lot better than, say, using your credit card for the interest rate in that sense, right? And of course, if you have time to look into the business grant option, you know, that's something you don't have to pay back, okay? And see what's your current status with your loan. Like a lot of them did the EIDL loan, they got rejection. You know, when they got a decline letter, doesn't mean that's the end of it. I see so many people getting decline letter. And a lot of time it's very simple mistake, like they didn't put the cost of goods or the expense correctly, or they you know, the name of the business, because when they put the account number, they put it differently or whatever. You know, it could be very simple mistakes, but then they got a rejection letter. Now, don't just give up and say, oh, well, you know, I got rejected, I'm now going to get the EIDL. No, because they are going to reconsider. So that's something you definitely want to do, okay? So now you get the loans, your money in a sense there, right? So what are you going to do with the money? Now you got the loan, you got PPP, you got EIDL. My suggestion is set up a separate checking account. One good way is also use credit union, because I know like it only costs 5 minutes to $5 to basically become a credit union member, right? And then the open account. And normally they really don't have a balance or $100 balance. So there's really not much of service charges if that's, you know, you're not going to, you know, if you want to just use it as accounting, or if you're with your bank, if you can open a sub account and they can link the account and then you're not going to be charged for a fee, then that's great. Okay, so definitely it's a good way to separate it, especially for the PPP, because for the PPP, lender is going to ask you for transactions, and it will be really difficult for you to basically to show your whole bank statements, and especially some of the business, if you're sole prop or whatever, you probably have all the personal expenses not relate to business in there, right? So that's even going to be more troublesome, a headache, try to sort through it. Okay, so the good thing is just to have one checking account that's dedicated for the PPP. But if you have EIDL, you want to have separate account, or you can put together, whatever it is, because whether it's PPP or EIDL, they have specific criteria for you how you can use it, right? Especially for PPP, because PPP Paycheck Protection Program, they're more specific, and also especially the money you can, it can be forgiven, so you don't have to pay it back, right? So definitely it's worthwhile. And use a spreadsheet. Your checklist is your spreadsheet. And if you say, oh, I don't like use computer, you can do a handwritten journal. And if you want, I can send you a PDF paper. You can just write it in there, okay? And so you can keep track of expenses and get the, your PPP loan 100% forgiven, okay? That's money in the bank, right? If it's forgiven, otherwise you have to pay them back, and plus interest. So that's definitely something. And then also the spreadsheet for EIDL as well too. And make sure one thing is, if you got PPP and EIDL, when you're using the PPP for payroll, at that time, you don't want to also use the EIDL for payroll. You want to separate them. When you're using the PPP for rent at that month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever till the money is exhausted, you don't want to use the EIDL for that. You can use that for cost of goods or for some other things, right? But you don't want to use them for the same purpose. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, so that part. And then the so the accounting, that's the same thing, basically says the same thing. And also, if you want a checklist, let me know. I can definitely send you a checklist for the PPP forgiveness. So it's like, oh, okay, this goes that. And also I have a spreadsheet, and it can also be a PDF file if you don't use a spreadsheet, you don't have a Excel sheet or something, you don't have that functionality. You can just I can send you a PDF file as well too, for the PPP. I call it a PPP tracker. Okay, so that's one part of the masterclass, is I'm going to give you guys the tools so you guys can use it for your business, right? It's not just information only, there's support behind it. Okay, so now the final step, it's step 3. Okay, so the step 3 is getting your sales and expense projection done. Now we dealt with the loans, with the money, right? Now the third part, like really important, is what's going to, what do you think your sale will be, what your expense will be. And let's say just for the next, usually when we plan 6 months to a year, right? For now, just say even 6 months, right? What do you think? I know a lot of business will say, I have no idea. I can't even open, right? And I was just saying that the sales, usually you probably only have the service that's only good for impersonal service, right? But on the hand, maybe there's something you can do to get sales from other channels, right? Like say for people in spa business, maybe they can do something for the skincare regimen or whatever, so that people can buy your products well too. Because I know when I go to the spa before, I always end up with all these products, because as they are doing your facial, they are doing these things, and they will suggest things, the regimen you can do, and then they bring you this, they give you the same product, and you use it. It was like, oh, it looks so good, you buy it, right? So there are that part to it as well too, even though if your business is very much a personalized service. Okay, so figure out your sales. And also I do feel that it's going to get better, right? I know it looks grim right now, but it will get better. And at least your business, you want to prepared, right? If you want to be in this business, you definitely want to prepare. Also, the business opens as well too. And there are other businesses that they can, even though like a dancing studio, and also the daycare or whatever, they are transitioned to also more online kind of teaching as well too. And the dancing studio is trying to figure out the way of teaching in a way that it's more 3D in a sense, right? Because for classroom teaching, it can be like Zoom, it's easy, but dance, you can't just do that. So a lot of things that can be done, we just need to be more creative about it and figure out the ways that it can work, okay? So that's the sale part. And now then there's the expense projection, right? So you definitely want to recalculate the sales cost of goods as business expenses and renegotiate, right? So the sales projection is what is your sales goal projected, right? For the next, as I say, if you don't want to do 12 months, you just want to focus this year, and next few months of the beginning of the year, right? So what's your projection? And you definitely want to write it down. How much is your gross sale? And then you want to break down how many customers and clients. And then of course they will say, Victoria, I don't know how many clients and customer. That's the thing, right? That's why we want to try to project it. And I understand it may be a different customer clients, because you may have to move your business more online, more product oriented rather than service oriented, right? Although there are things that they might be able to do personally. And as I say again, the skincare client, skincare business was telling me, it's like, well, a lot of things we do, the customer cannot do, my client cannot do, and that's the way. So I say, kind of trying to figure out something, especially the skincare regimen, and also in terms of massage, the lymph, I don't even know how to say it, the lymph nodes, right? For the drainage and toxin or whatever, you can still teach your client customer in that sense, and to help them. And it can be a paid, a Zoom thing to teach them that, right? So that's going to really help. And I know a lot of time, when I go to my facial and massage, right? And a lot of them is also more of a personal thing, right? You kind of talk about your personal things as well too. So online, you can still have that kind of connection as well too. So that, keep that, the business relationship going, right? So that's something you guys want to definitely consider. And then at the end, how much income you need. I know that before maybe you can make a lot more, but still you want to figure out what's the minimum net income you want to have, okay? So that's the sales projection. Make sure you write it down. And next is list your business expenses. Now you have the sales, right? And for you to make the net income, that means you have to minus business expenses and the cost of goods, depending on your business, whether it's service oriented, there your cost of goods not a lot, or like restaurant, there are a lot of cost of goods now, especially now with the delivery service, right? Because it's a much a lower margin business because of the delivery service costs quite a bit of money. So they have to churn a lot more, right, for the food, and buying the food and make the food and for the delivery. So the cost of goods may change, right? And that definitely also the type of dish might change so that it will be well, kind of for reheats as well too, right? And then, and second is to list all your operational expenses, whether it's payroll, now your rent, whatever, all the, the operational costs. And then even though your business is not open, but you may still want to do some kind of customer outreach in that sense, and maybe very lightweight kind of the advertising in a sense to let your customer know that you're still in business, or something couldn't even, advertising doesn't even have cost money. They call it organic, right? So that, you still reach people in that sense. And then the third thing is to go through your checking account and your credit cards, right? To really go through each line, the expenses. Because I found through my credit cards each month, so many of the things that really I don't use, it's like $4.99, $7.99, $9.99 a month, before I don't even pay attention to it. It's like, oh, okay, fine. But now I'm like, why am I paying that for? Why is this a subscription? I don't even read, there's so much things online, right? This is online subscription, but it's like, I get so much information just by Google search. Why do I need it, right? So, and actually you'll be surprised, you might be able to save hundreds of dollars a month just for those expenses you didn't even realize. And sometimes, when I look at my credit card a few months later, I couldn't even remember, what is that charge? Look at it, I'm like, what's that $300 for? I don't even remember, right? So make sure that you want to go through that, the expenses. Right now, every penny counts, right? We really want to conserve the money, minimize expenses. So make sure to do that. And also very important is to renegotiate your rent and also with your supplier. I understand, the landlord also is in a predicament as well too, but we do know that rent is based on the sales. The cost of, the rent, how it's determined is basically by sales per square footage. If a place has, very busy traffic, can generate a lot of business before, right, the rent is higher, we call high rent district. And the other area, it's lower rent districts, lower, right? But right now, since the business is not going, so definitely you want to do that. It's very important. And I'm sure that the landlord is going to be willing to work with you too, because they don't want to lose you as a business owner as well too, right? The business account as well too, because they know that the business is not doing well, and a lot of business maybe will shut down for good. If you are the business that's willing to stay open, and they're going to work with you. Okay, so definitely you want to renegotiate rent and renegotiate with your suppliers as well too. Although some of the supplier, you want to be careful, because that's why it's good to keep up to date what it is. Like, for instance, I didn't know lumber, because I have general contractor clients as well too, right? All of a sudden I saw, supplier, right? People, no, lumber are so expensive right now because people are still building houses, and there's still new construction, whether it's condo or houses, and actually the lumber mill kind of stopped for a little while, right, because of the pandemic. So now there's a shortage of lumber. So that's definitely that's not the supplier you want to renegotiate with, right? So in that sense, you want to lock in the price if you have a project like with my general contract clients, right? So in that sense, but on the hand, there's some things that you may be able to renegotiate. So that's what I'm saying. You really want to look at the situation and decide to make sure that your expenses is maximized as much as possible. Okay. So that's your 3-step checklist. Each step, you know, they will have the numbers 1, 2, 3, right? Write down what you can do, what you will do. Okay. And then once you finish and, you know, have checked up. Okay. And if you need, definitely, if you need support, if you want your implementation checklist, you know, whatever you need, because in a way it's a little bit, you know, even though it's a masterclass, you know, I supposed to provide you guys with a lot of, you know, worksheet and tool, but I do realize that each business is different. So it's just to give you guys the worksheet or whatever. It may overwhelming you rather than being helpful to you. So I figured the best way for me is to really help you guys is providing that personalized support, right? And if you need an implementation checklist, you can definitely call me or email me, and also basically set up a free appointment if you want to just talk to me about your situation, see what, you know, what I can give you guys some insights or some suggestions. Okay. So definitely the appointment's totally free, right? My support is totally free. And to book a free appointment, it's calendly.com/victoryfinance/15min. And also it's easier probably to just email me. That's info at victoryfinance.com. Okay. Okay, so just remember, I probably go a little bit over because I was, you know, running a little bit late because of technical difficulty earlier. So just remember the it's all free, right? The weekly masterclass for August. It's going to be on Tuesday, and it's for small business success. And I'm using the trifecta approach. Basically, it's a 3-step process. I will provide you with the tools necessary for your business success in 3 key areas, whether it's the money matter, which we talk about finance today, whether it's business operation and sales and marketing. Okay, so be sure to register. And in addition, if you need some done for you services, we can offer that. Our company can offer that as well too, whether it's to create and executing your business planning, providing you with tool and templates to help you with your business sales and expense projections, provide you with a spreadsheet to help you to do the PPP spending, okay, your PPP tracker, develop your new sales and marketing strategies. You know, a lot of people, the old way, you know, prior to February, right, it's not gonna work. So if you need your new sales and marketing strategy, definitely we can help with that. The social media setup and the marketing, and build your website and revamp your website to make it update and reflecting the current situation. I see a lot of website looks really good, but there's no updates, you know, that's relevant to today, right? So we definitely want to make sure that that information is there, and you can basically pick whatever help you need, and we can discuss about it, and I can give you a lot of insights and advice, you know, so that you will be able to do it on your own, or if you need help, then we can definitely help you. Okay, so to contact me, again, my name is Victoria Bracha, and you can call us toll free 833-382-1118. That's 833-382-1118. Or email me at info@victoryfinanceinc.com, or visit my website, victoryfinanceinc.com, and you'll get a lot of useful tools and tips as well too, okay? You can book a free appointment. That's Calendly/victoryfinance15MIM, okay? So basically, that's the first section. I went through pretty fast for our module 1. Okay, so hopefully it's going to be helpful to you guys. I really, because of the Small Business Development Center, I got a lot of business owners come to me, and I see so many businesses and there's so much challenges. So I really want to use my experience and expertise and knowledge to really help as many business owners as possible. So let me know if I can give you guys some support and help, okay? And I really appreciate you guys spending this time with me and listen to my masterclass. And hopefully you guys will not only just to watch it, but also really to take the step, as I said, the write it down step, and then really go through that as well too, okay? I know it's very challenging right now, and we really don't know what's happening. It's really with this great uncertainty and fear in that sense. And I think if we help each other and stand united, we should be able to overcome it. And I truly believe, America is still a great country, and we will be able to overcome our difficulty and hardship right now. Okay, so take care and stay healthy, and bye, and see you next Tuesday. Bye.